How could Andrew Luck, a generational quarterback, a quarterback on track for the Hall of Fame, walk away?
I don't remember specifics beyond an overwhelming sense of relief, and I don't think I felt that type of unburdening ever.
Luck's emotions were all tangled together. Relief mixed with mourning, guilt mixed with a profound unburdening, a dozen thoughts and feelings that he couldn't name or even really describe. He walked away from football because he had fallen out of love with it, damaged not only by chronic pain, but by how he acted in chronic pain. Withdrawn, selfish, scared, and hurting. Luck is now 32 years old. He is a married father of 2. He spent the first few years of his new life parenting, skiing, journaling, fishing, and he's asked himself a lot of hard questions. Why did he really retire? Was his retirement exemplar of a lack of toughness? Or was it actually a courage few could imagine? Why did playing quarterback, with all of its uniquely American job requirements, both define him and turn him into someone he wasn't proud of?
I doubt I will ever find the answers, all of them, or any answers.
But Luck's story with football is ultimately a love story. In August of 2021, he visited a high school football team in Colorado. He smelled the dank locker room, he threw passes with the quarterbacks, and he spoke to the team. When he drove home, he couldn't stop smiling. He later decided that he wanted back in the game, not as a quarterback who would save the fortunes of the Colts in the city of Indianapolis, but maybe as a high school coach.
Playmakers out 3, 1, 2, 3, playmakers! I think I started to understand how much it did give me and what it demanded, what it took in a sense, what I allowed it to take. But I love it.
Luck is back at Stanford, where it all began, pursuing his master's in education. But he swears he isn't trying to go back in time. He's trying to find a new way forward, something to walk towards after earning fame for many things, his brilliance on the field and for walking away.
And for more, we are joined now by Seth Wickersham. Seth, your digital story, it's about 7,000 words. It's all about the inner life of a superstar and what the public can't see. With Andrew Luck, how did a shoulder injury, how did it bring him to such a dark place and spin him into this cycle of self-doubt and anguish?
It's a great question. I think that it goes back in many ways to when he entered the NFL. You know, when he was at Stanford, we spoke about Andrew Luck as if he had a limitless life. He could have been an architect, an engineer, a politician, anything he wanted, when in fact his life was actually pretty limited. He was a junkie, he was a quarterback. And I think that when he got into the NFL, he was under so much pressure, both externally and internally, to replace Peyton Manning and deliver for that franchise and that city, that he really set up a series of survival mechanisms leading a very rigid, ruthless, and sideload life. And I think that when he got hurt, when he hurt his shoulder in 2015, and it wasn't healing the way that he wanted it to, hoped that it would, and he was out of answers, all of those habits that he had developed over the years kind of just accelerated, and it led him to be a person that he didn't like.
So, you know, he's so conflicted, and he's pinballing from this sense of guilt to these existential questions about what he's doing with his life, who he is, what's really important to him. How does he finally achieve clarity and decide to walk away?
It's been a process, and I think that he has what he told me, the clarity that he doesn't need perfect clarity. He told me that he doesn't know if he'll ever have all the answers or any answers as to why he truly retired. In the years and months after he retired, I mean, he traveled the world, but he spent a lot of time trying to mine his own thoughts, speaking with therapists, journaling, speaking to his wife, trying to figure out what this decision revealed about him. It wasn't that he regretted the decision, although he wished he had retired earlier so that he didn't leave the team as it was in training camp. It was what the decision revealed about him and who he thought he was and the story he had told himself. And those are questions that he's asked himself so much over the past couple years that I think that he's finally realized that he may not ever have perfect clarity on what those answers might be.
Seth, if he never got hurt in the first place and he'd had those great first 3 seasons, do you think he'd still be playing now at the age of 33, even with all of his ambivalence about football?
It's a great question. I think that probably the answer is yes. He went off to Holland in 2017. He spent 6 weeks there, not only to get his shoulder right or to start to get it right, but also to just become a person that he was more proud of, that he liked better. And when he returned to play in 2018, he promised himself and his wife to be Nicole that he would never return to that kind of dark, selfish state that he was in when he was in so much pain and looking for answers with his shoulder. And so he did that 2018 season, wins Comeback Player of the Year, and really, he wishes he had just retired after that season ended. He had proven to everybody, including himself, that he could play at a high level. His foot was bothering him, which of course at the time he didn't realize how bad it was going to get. And as that offseason went on, he felt himself slipping back into those same traits that he didn't like about himself the previous years as the pain in his leg and in his ankle and in his foot intensified. And that's ultimately why he retired.
Yeah, it's really a remarkable story about a conflicted superstar in the NFL. Seth Wickersham, thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.